I'm Ryan Bayless from the Bayless Brothers, and I'm joined today by our executive producer, Mr. Craig Dacey.
Thank you.
That was dumb. I'm going to try again. All right. Here in the United States, we have really great neighbors. To our south, we've got Mexico. Tequila, mezcal, micheladas. And to the north, Canada. Whiskey. Today's cocktail is really interesting because it's named after one of Canada's great cities. And I also find it to be a very polite cocktail. Very, very Canadian. The Toronto. Part Fernet Branca, part whiskey. Now, some people use rye. Today we're using a wheat whiskey, but you get the picture. This is a drink that I'm very fond of and barely ever drink. A good friend of mine in Michigan, Mr. Ben Scott Brandt, was the one to introduce it to me as something a little special, a little bit of a play on an old fashioned, a little bit of a play on the Manhattan. But something really fun about it is it uses, do you say Fernet Branca or Fernet Branca?
I say Fernet.
Fernet Branca. Now, Fernet is really interesting. I'm going to give you a little, look at it. It is a digestive,
That's right.
Meaning that this is a great drink to end the night with because it's going to help settle your stomach. And if you've been drinking a lot or you've been mixing your drinks, Fernet Branca is a lifesaver. In fact, if you don't feel good, it is important to maybe just take a shot of Fernet at the end of the night. I don't know. Or drink a bunch of water or do something else. But for me, a little bit of Fernet goes a long way to settling the stomach and having a wonderful night out when nights out were something that existed. So,
thank you for that, Dr. Bayless.
you got it.
Okay.
You got it.
All right.
One other thing I just want to point out. We're going to use Bernheim Original. We have not had this whiskey. I'm excited to try this whiskey. It's a wheated whiskey. And a little fun fact, Bernheim Distillery was actually the distillery that Pappy Van Winkle was made at between its original Stitzelweller and where it now is made at Buffalo Trace. So a little bit of heritage there, I think, as much as any of the bourbons do. Now, typically you would also make to make the Toronto, you would use a rye, but we're using a wheat whiskey because we're having a little fun here. Craig, take it from there.
Well, first let's put some ice in this bad boy.
They're not even calling this a bourbon; they're calling it a whiskey. So that's kind of interesting. Anyway, every bourbon is a whiskey, not every whiskey is a bourbon. We'll get into that in some other time. But
So we're going 2 ounces of this guy. That's 1.5. And another half.
oh no, oh no, oh Craig, you put too much in there.
Well, you gotta make it taste good.
Yeah. There isn't a super deep history to the Toronto. In 1922, it was called the Fernet cocktail. And then in the 30s, they changed it to the Toronto cocktail. This is one of those drinks you feel like you're not supposed to be drinking because it's sort of good for you. It does settle your stomach. It does probably have sort of a medicinal taste to it because of the Fernet. It really is a nice sipper. Something you can enjoy slowly with friends on ice.
All right, and 1/4 of this guy.
A quarter.
A little goes a long way with Fernet. The recipe calls for simple syrup, but we don't have that. And Alec has mentioned that brown sugar is equally as will.
So my brother makes a fair amount of old fashions every night,
Yeah, so we get that.
and he does it with brown sugar. And so we thought maybe we could try that with the Toronto.
We'll give it a shot. We're, you're not going to stop us. 2
Okay.
dashes of Angostura bitters and stir.
Oh, yeah, can I stir some?
Yeah, let me just. Go ahead.
All right, thank you.
Now, in the
You ever
meantime-
been to Toronto?
I have. It's a very fun city.
Toronto's an amazing city.
In the meantime, we also have a chilled glass here, ready to accept that. So I'm going to lose that. Get some fresh ice in here.
Stirred.
Cool. And then we'll do this guy. And then we'll see what happens.
So, in your opinion, what's the difference between shaking and stirring?
Stirring is a lot less agitating, right? So the ice actually breaks down when you shake. You get that foam.
Right.
It kind of lets oxygen in. You get that little foam in the beginning. When you're just stirring, you're really just you're making
Mixing it all together.
You're mixing, yeah, you're mixing and you're making it cold.
Gotcha.
So you're not breaking things down. So
Gotcha.
there you go.
All right.
Looks pretty damn good.
That looks pretty damn good. This is the
Wish there was a
Toronto.
glass for two people, but that's okay.
I know. I only got one glass. That's really too bad for you.
It's a shame.
Now, the only time I went to Toronto, I took a ferry to an island to watch airplanes cruise over the nude beach. It was beautiful. It was also very cold outside, and there were still some real troopers. I love Canadians. I will say, the brown sugar is nice, and I think it does give you like kind of a warm, almost like sort of holiday taste.
Okay.
But it also plays a little bit too much into the Fernet. Like the Fernet is already kind of a bitter taste. Your brown sugar is not bitter, but it's got like a, I don't know. How would you describe brown sugar?
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, try it. There we go. Do you see what I mean? It's sort of playing into the Fernet a little bit rather than letting the Fernet be its own kind of thing.
Well, Fernet is very pungent, but it's also got a sweetness to it.
Yeah.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think the simple syrup is just the way
Just a touch
the way to
sweeter
go.
and plays opposite a little bit of what the Fernet is bringing to the table.
That's a damn good drink, though.
Hell of a good drink.
I've
yeah.
never had it.
No, it's great. And you never made it. Congratulations.
And I still haven't had one.
This is the Bayless Brothers Can Drink. I'm Ryan Bayless. This is my cohort, Craig Dacey. And, I'm assuming you're home for the night, you're relaxing, you're chilling, you're watching a bunch of these. Keep going. Things are going great for you.
Don't disagree.
Hey, what's your favorite cocktail? Give us a shout at hello@thebaylessbrothers.com. And if you like this video, press like and subscribe. All right, bar's closing. See you next time.